Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Parthaya Pradibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusantatami Bhagavad-Gite Bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadaihi Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyantiyam Yogino Yasyantam Navidussura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Verse 18 onwards, we chant together. And those who do not have the book, raise your hand. I don't see the book in your hand. Yes, there is one person there, two there, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. You have the stock with you. There are 6 of them who need. Yeah, that's how we sell. Yada viniyadam chittam atmanyevavatishtade nisprah sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada yata dipo nivatasto nengate sopama smrta yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanah yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. In Vedanta, we say there are 4 important qualifications required for any student. First and foremost is viveka, discrimination. That is, what is real and what is not real. Nowadays, real appears unreal and unreal appears to be real. In many houses I go, indoor plants are there. We do not know which is a real plant, which is a plastic or silk. So, there is one more family there. I think it's better you keep a stock next to you next time. Oh yeah, that's also better. Please take. Viveka, therefore, is clear discrimination between real and unreal. The definition of real is what does not change in three periods of time, past, present and future. Trikale abhi abhadita vastu satyam. And that which is subject to change is called asatyam. Because anityatvat, because it is impermanent. Now, what is satyam? If you look at it, what is there, all three periods of time, past, present and future, you'll find there is nothing. Because in the past, maybe some 60 years back, you are not there. And 60 years later, you will not be there. You means this physical body won't be there. So, that which is not there, that which is not going to be there forever, it has only temporary existence. And its existence, therefore, is dependable existence. It is depending upon something for its existence. And that which is depending upon something for its existence cannot be of the nature of permanent bliss. Because it is itself is existing due to dependence on something. Therefore, all its characteristics are borrowed. How can we derive permanent happiness from something which does not have its own nature? So, satyam and asatya. That's so viveka is about what is nitya anitya vastu viveka vivaya. That is called viveka. Nitya anitya vastu. Temporary anitya and nitya is permanent. Next one is vairagya. About a thing when we know that it is temporary, my holding on to it should be eliminated. I should not hold on to it too much. This is called vairagya. Vairagya is not running away from things, it is knowing and detaching from it or seeking happiness from it. Expecting permanent happiness from it. That is called vairagya. Vairagya does not mean run away from the world, but know that the world which I experience now, that is through perception, feeling and thinking, is not going to give me everlasting joy, and therefore I must have an intelligent relationship with that. Don't embrace it, no, don't run away from it also. Like a fire, you use it. Fire, every day I use it for cooking, etc. Let me go and embrace it. Or power, so many things are there. Light is there, fan is running, air conditioner is there, all equipment, computer, fan, this, that. So one day I must embrace this electricity. Go put your hand there. That's it, intelligent. So vairagya is knowing the impermanent nature of a thing and having intelligent relationship with that. And not feeling deprived in its absence. That's also important. One person said, yesterday, suddenly my internet went off. So I started, I do not know what to do. I sat with my wife and children. They are really nice people. Until then, he never realized that they are there. They are so busy with things, with the internet. So Vairagya is not only having an intelligent relationship with the impermanent things of the world, but at the same time not having or not feeling deprived in their absence. That's Vairagya. कुछ हो रहा है. So those who are in the new parents, that's the one, right? Please proceed to the upper levels, Chinmaya Smriti. Parents who joined this year. Viveka Vairagya. Then comes sixfold qualification known as Shama, Dhamma, Uparadi, Tidiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. Shama, Dhamma, Uparadi, Tidiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. I am not going to elaborate all those things, but very briefly put, why I am coming to that, I'll tell you. Quietening the mind, Shama. Sham is to quiet. Shankaraha, one who quietens the mind, is Shankara. Shamkarodi. So that quietude of the mind is again a practice. Mind has two aspects. One is to perceive through the senses. It perceives the senses. Through the senses or the objects of the world. This is known as cognition. Cognition. The second aspect of the mind is retention. Smriti is recalling the retained information. So three things actually. And one is the power of cognition, ability to perceive object through the senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Second is retaining the received information. Third is recalling. Now in this, our masters have analyzed, by merely getting rid of the perception, retention, recalling will not go away. So when I see something through my eyes, there is a new information that is coming in. That leaves an impression. When you consciously perceived an object, there is an impression that is left behind. When you unconsciously perceive something, there is no impression left. For example, after the entire class is over, what did Swamiji say? He said something, 1 hour he spoke. Because your mind, if it is not concentrating on this, then you will never remember. There is no retention, only tension. Or somebody next to you coughed 23 times, that you remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 times. So what did Swamiji say in the class? I don't know, but 23 times this fellow coughed that time. Why? Because that's what you're concentrating on. To where your focus or attention is, that is where your retention also. That's why children also, when you tell them to study, they may study, but they don't retain. Because attention is not in that. So, cognition, retention. So even if you remove the world outside from your perception, but impressions that were created in the past lives or in this very life itself, they will be there. But please note, whether you are recalling or not, that is where the practice is. If your mind unconsciously recalling or remembering things of the past, of the impressions, then you cannot, even when you avoid the world outside, it will keep disturbing you. So one is quietening the mind in the form of not engaging in unwanted activities of the senses. We saw that Shamam Kaya Shiro Grivam Dharayanna Chalam Stiraha Samprekshana Gram Swam Dishaschana Valokayan. Sitting quietly in a solitude, etc., all those things are possible. But that doesn't assure you that your mind will not engage in the thoughts that were previously gained. Or what is? So, impressions you cannot stop recalling if that is your habit. So closing down the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin does not help you by itself. No doubt, your mind may become relatively quiet because there is no disturbance from outside. So this not having disturbance through the senses is known as Dhamma. But not recalling is called Shama. And when the state of mind, when there is no more recollection, it remains in its state of undistracted nature, it's called Uparama. This is what the word comes. Yatro paramate chittam. Chittam manaha. Uparamate. Uparamate, the very word means upasamipe ramate, enjoy. See, it revels in itself. Not in the recollection of things of the past, nor even gaining any new comprehensions or experiences from the external senses. That's called uparati uparamanam. Yatra, where Chittam, manaha, mind, uparamate, yatro paramate chittam. And how is that gained? Yoga sevaya niruddham, stopped by practice. Yatra chittam, which is the adjective to chittam is what? Yoga sevaya niruddham chittam uparamate. Through the practice of yoga, when the mind has gained the inner quietude by not engaging in activities through the senses, nor through recollection of retained information. So somebody would say, Swamiji, if I practice this, then after some time, when my wife stands in front of me, who are you? Will I forget completely about everything of the world? Don't worry, it doesn't happen. If it happens, it doesn't matter. We unnecessarily keep so many things in our head. Unwanted garbage is there. So much. If you open your head, you will see. How many things we unnecessarily keep in our mind, and important things we don't keep in our mind. Unwanted things only will be there. Yatra uparamate chittam niruddham, niruddham, nir, not, uddham, rising up. That's what I said. A thing, like for example, if you have put salt in a cup of water and don't mix it up, will it come up? When you drink the water from the top, that salty taste would not be there. Why? The salt which was there on the base of that container has not come up. In the same way, their retained information or impressions are there. You cannot help it because it just in the past you have gained it and retained it, whether you liked it or not. Whether you want to go deep and pick it up or not, that is your choice. This practice of not bringing up the unwanted, preconceived notions or impressions, niruddham. Don't bring it up. Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya. Seva means abhyasa. Yoga abhyasena. Here yoga abhyasa is not standing upside down or doing any of the funny physical postures. That is necessary for retained posture, is necessary for sustained mind's quietude. Otherwise body will be aching and then you will be concentrating on that. So physical body's quietude is necessary for mind to become quiet. For that purpose, yes, your asanas are all very important so that your body does not unnecessarily distract you. So yoga abhyasena yatra chittam niruddham nirupavate. Uparamate, when it travels. Then what is the experience of that individual? What does he experience? In a nutshell, here Krishna says, Yatra cha, also there, Atmanam Atmana, eva. Atmanam, oneself, Atmana eva, by oneself alone, Pashyan, seeing, Atmanitushyati, he revels in himself. So he doesn't anymore revel in what the mind creates. Not what the senses create as experience. He will start enjoying his higher self, which is even now present due to preoccupations of the mind not available to us. Just like the silence which is already there is enjoyed when I stop talking. Is silence there or not? When all of us stop making noise, what is already there can be experienced. When we are talking and making noise, then what is already there remains unnoticed. In the same way, Atman, the self, is not absent at any time, but we are not present for it. So when the mind's preoccupations are no more, neither it perceives the world nor it recalls the retained information. In that quietude of the mind, Atmanam, the self, Atmana eva, by oneself. I'll come to that. What he explains the next verse. What do we mean by seeing the self by oneself? Atmana Atmanam Pashyan Tushyati. He revels. What is this revelry? What is that enjoyment? He comes to recognize the joy of the self, the bliss of the self, which is not temporary. All that I have experienced through the senses, sense experiences, also some pleasant thoughts or recalling some good thoughts, etc., whatever, are all temporary. It's a made experience. Whereas the one which I am now experiencing, due to absence of all these things, is not a created joy. It is not a manufactured experience. It is one which is always there, remains unnoticed. So that tushti, that santushti, that santosha, that joy is akrita anand, uncreated bliss. So some of the scholars write that this, up to this point, almost, up to 20, according to yoga philosophy, it is called samprajnata samadhi. The philosophy of yoga has got its own terminologies, different from that of Vedanta. So I'm not going to, because it will deviate us to a different path altogether. So, but the term that is used is samprajnata samadhi, where the mind has gained the ability to quieten itself with the help of an external practice. Samprajnata. Now here onwards, according to the masters of yoga, asamprajnata samadhi explained. What is beyond this? So up till this point, Krishna has explained the external adjustments that we need to do, how to sit, where to sit, how not to eat too much, not to eat too less, not to work too much, not to work too less, not to sleep too much, not to sleep less, and how one should maintain the inner equilibrium, quietude, peace, and reducing the thoughts, etc. This is the process of shamaha, quietening the mind. Now, once he gains a glimpse of the existing pure consciousness, bliss, existing already. Now, once he has the awareness of the existing bliss, joy, his intention to gain temporary ones is weakened. This weakness or the unintentionally looking for joy in the world outside is no more, is not due to any hatred. Sometimes we become very, we say smashana vairagya. When we have a bitter experience, then we don't go there anymore. It's not only human. Let us say that if you keep something to eat for a dog, and whenever it goes, you hit it. Just for the sake. Don't eat it or threaten it. Don't go there. Then next time you watch, when it goes, it will look at you first. Isn't it? Before it goes, it will go slowly. But its intention to go is still there. When you are looking somewhere else, it will... Now it's interesting, if you see the dog crossing the road, have you seen it? In India it happens, here no, the dog goes by itself. It will watch both sides. It won't cross if there is any vehicles coming. How does it know? How does it know that that thing will come and hit me and I will die and etc.? Who did not have that consciousness? It will look both sides and then only cross. So, if you go towards an object and somebody threatens, don't touch it. The next time when you go, then you will have a second thought, should I or not? So, the turning away from the world should not be out of fear or bitterness, unpleasant experiences. It's because knowing that it is temporary. Expecting permanent happiness from this is foolishness. And it is not only just a knowledge, but also you know that instead of that, there is a permanent happiness which I can instead get. Why should I then? When I have an access towards a permanent happiness, then what is the reason should I unnecessarily engage in temporary ones? This is true Vairagya. Unless we practice and recognize the joyful presence of the self within us, it's only a knowledge. It's only somebody's teaching. It is only called vicarious knowledge. Paroksha jnana. Para aksha jnana. According to somebody's view. It should become apara aksha jnana. Aparoksha jnana. Meaning it is not somebody's view, it's I know it. So therefore, in the next verse, Krishna says, verse 21, Sukhamatyantikam yattat buddhigrahyamatīndriyam veti yatra na chaivayam sthitas chalati tatvatah Sukhamatyantikam yattat buddhigrahyamatīndriyam veti yatra na chaivayam sthitas chalati tatvatah. Yat atyantikam sukham. Atyantikam means antikam, subject to end, finite. Atyantikam, infinite. Yet atyantikam sukham, that which is of the nature of infinite bliss. Yet tat atyantikam, yet that which is, tat atyantikam sukham, infinite bliss. Atindriyam buddhigrahyam. Ati indriyam, beyond the senses. Beyond the senses. Meaning, it is not something which I experience through my eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, speech, hand, leg, reproductive organ or anus. All the 10 sense organs cannot comprehend this. Let me ask you this question. When you were sleeping, not here, when you are sleeping, when you wake up, which particular sense organ has experienced that joy? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, speech, hand, leg, reproductive organ, anus, any of the 10? One who is experiencing through the 10 sense organ is called Dasha Mukha. One who is not experiencing through the 10 organs and gone beyond is Dasha Rata. Rama is born to Dasharatha, not Dashamukha. He who is reveling beyond the 10 sense organs, meaning it is na indriya grahyam, atindriyam. Indriyaihi na grahyam atindriyam. That which is not comprehensible through the 10 sense organs. If it is not through the sense organs, and in the absence of these 10 sense organs, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, speech, hands, legs, anus and reproductive organ. These 10 are not there, then the experience should be of the mind in the form of some feeling. Feeling is a part of any particular sense. I feel for that. I feel for him. I feel for her. Through eyes, through nose. So the feeling, when you say it is emotion, but that emotion is not experienced through the senses. Correct? So therefore if you say atindriyam, is it through the mind? Because when we say indriya, we should include mind also, because manashashtani indriyani. Krishna in one place very clearly says, mind is the sixth sense. Taking the five jnanendriyas into account, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, the mind is called shashta indriya, sixth sense. So the feelings are also, in a way, a indriya grahyam only. Though not technically speaking. But mind is also considered as one of the indriyas, little superior than other 10. But here, when he says atindriyam, it is not any of the senses, which will include the mind also, because the experience of an individual with respect to the self is not a feeling. It is awareness, knowing. Therefore, it is buddhigrahyam. Buddhyagrahyam, buddhigrahyam. Known by the intellect. Now, in our understanding, intellect, according to Western psychology, it is a storehouse of information, intellection, logic, rationality. Now, when I say I am sincere, is it a thought? Think about it. He is a very sincere person. So, sincerity, is it a particular thought? Love, you can say, is an emotion. Anger is an emotion. Is sincerity an emotion? A thought? An action? I am careful about doing something. Is it a thought? Is it an activity per se? A particular activity? Is it a sensory experience? It's attention, awareness. I am concentrating. Is it a thought? Is it a thought? One person took an orange, bottle containing orange. He went on looking at it. What are you doing? Shh. What are you doing? Then he read what is written there. Orange juice concentrate. So if you keep looking at something, you're paying attention. But concentration does not mean looking at something. When you tell your children, concentrate on your studies, go on looking at it. Is that right? Is it a physical action? Is it an emotion? It's attention. Listen. So when you hear through the ears, it's called hearing. But when you hear through the mind, it is called listening. Don't you tell your children, listen to me. What does that mean? That boy only hears, but he never listens. I hear you. But listening is different. Paying attention. So buddhigrahyam, when we say, it is not a particular thought. It is not a sensory activity. It's not an emotion. So buddhyagrahyam, sukham buddhyagrahyam. Now you see, this joy or bliss that he experiences in the quietness of the mind is an awareful bliss and not an emotion or a feeling or a sensory activity. Sukhamatyantikam yattat buddhigrahyam atindriyam. So this comes out of an individual's practice of quietening the mind, where he or she has turned away from engaging in the sensory activities, again not by shutting it down but knowing that it is temporary, and also not engaging in reveling in the retained information, recalling the existing information in the mind, where an individual is able to bring that inner quietude, subsidence of the mind. He recognizes the bliss which is already there, remains unnoticed most of the time, having reached which is known only by attention. Yatra veti, yatra where he knows, he realizes. Ayam Purushaha. Yatra veti yatra cha evayam stitaha, remaining there, na chalati. He doesn't move. Tattvataha, from that reality, from that self. Again, it is similar to when your mind is physically you're tired, mentally you're tired, when you have a deep sleep. Even a bomb put next to you will not know. Anybody some shakes you also, you don't know. Anasti iti shayanam. It's called anesthesia. Nothing is there. So when somebody puts anesthesia, right, you don't even know what happened. They have opened your body completely, worked on it, the full wash has been done, inside out, closed it also. You will never know. Only when the effect of anesthesia is gone, when the attention again comes back to the body, then you realize. So just like in the state of anesthesia, it's not anesthesia, I'm not talking about in the saying, meaning where there is no more movement of thoughts. Na tattvataha chalati. It does not move away from that attention of the supreme nature of the reality. Sukham atyantikam yattat buddhigrahyam atindriyam veti yatra na chaivayam stitas chalati tattvataha. Na chalati manaha yasya manaha na chalati. Whose mind does not move. Which means, he remains there only. No. Even when he completes the conventional practice of sitting quietly and maintaining attention on the self, as even he walks out of his seat of meditation and moves into the world, his attention is there. At any time he can get in there. Now he knows the route. Many of the Mahatmas, even as they were talking, and they keep their mind, keep entire, not mind, attention on that. Because most of the time worldly transactions are only temporarily, so he said it, she said it, this goes on and on. Now what are we gaining out of this? So the mind has gained that momentum, the ability to go beyond this. As I said last time also, some people who are, so fond of music or singing, you put them anywhere. What are you doing? Just remembering. Once a particular raga. So this sound of this air conditioner, so they will be thinking this. Oh, why? This mind is there, listening to the tune. So because their mind has the ability to tune in. Similarly, an individual who has gained that tuning into that higher reality, even as he walks into the world and does things, he has now the access to that. So he does not move away from it that easily. Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda used to give the example of these people in Rajasthan when they take the water on their head, the parts, 3-4 parts. Their attention is not in this part, their attention is the topmost. The topmost part should not fall. So it should be, the center of gravity should be there. Even as they walking, singing and all, but attention is there. In Tamil Nadu, they have Karagatam. They keep the same thing. They put the spots and all above in the head, but it will not move. Even as they are dancing, attention is on that. So it's not easy. You need a lot of practice for that. Even first one will not stay. It is very interesting how these traditional folk dance and all, we say it is not that easy because they have a lot of practice. See, even as they dance and everything, but the attention of center of gravity is on there. In the same way, he, the one who has gained that access to the higher source of happiness, even as he moves out into the world of objects, emotions and feelings and thoughts and activities and all the vyavaharika loka, the world of transactional reality, even as they engage in there, the mind is set there. And this joy that such an individual experiences is incomparable. It is not possible to relate that with anything else. So therefore, in the next verse he says, Yam labdva cha param labham manyate nadhikam tatah yasmin stito na dukkena gurunapi vichalyate Yam labdva cha param labham manyate nadikam tatah yasmin stito na dukkena gurunapi vichalyate Yam labham labdva na aparam labham adhikam manyate tatah adhikam na manyate Yam labham labdva, having gained which? Labha means to gain. Labha. Yam labham labdva, having gained which? Labha. Tataha adhikam, than that. Tataha adhikam labham na anyam manyate. There is nothing that is greater than that. So in our case, what happens when we have a particular experience through the senses or emotional whatever, we seek to repeat it. And next time when you go for it, it is not the same as before. Is it not true? That experience I had the first time, that is the best. Next time, see, it's like a morning you finish your activity and all those things, then you first coffee that you take. Oh, coffee is, give me the second cup, it won't be. It won't have the same joy. Why? Why it is so? Because it is like this. Have some sweet and then drink coffee. After drinking coffee with the sugar, with the sugar water, you drink coffee with sugar. Then you take some sweet. What will happen? What will happen? Have you ever tried? It will be bitter. So the sweet has not become bitter. Then how did you feel bitter? The sugar level that is experienced by the tongue has reached a point, anything else will be bitter only. It is not that the sweet that is given is bitter, but your heightened state of experience that is gained by the tongue or the sensory is no more able to come down to the level of the sweet that you are giving. It won't feel. In the same way, yam labdva labham, having gained which bliss of the highest nature, nothing else he can say as more than that. Yam labdva cha aparam labham, anything else, na adhikam manyate. It cannot supersede that. But in our case, as I said, when we were young, so let us say, 3, 4, 5-year-old, whatever we experienced with the toys and this and that, then we move to the next level of different things. And we still feel there are many things that I need to experience. At 30-year-old, what I experience, then 40-year-old, what is that, 50 years old, I think some more different things have to be experienced in 60, and 70, and 80. And when you become 70, you want to have the same experience you had in 20. You want to go reverse back. Instead, if one experiences that surpassing which there is nothing, Yam labdva cha aparam labham na adhikam manyate tatah yasmin stitah, staying where na gurunapi dukkhena vichalyate. What is that great joy that one experiences? Why is this considered the highest? Because having reached which, nothing of the worldly sorrow will ever touch you, including one's own death. Gurunapi dukkhena. Guruna means highest, so heavy, so not highest, heavy. All the gurus are heavy sometimes. It's here guru does not mean heavy guru. Gurunapi dukkhena. Even the heaviest sorrow, gurunapi dukkhena na vichalyate. It doesn't move. Nothing will affect it thereafter. We'll see more of it in the next session. पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः